East Stroudsburg University women's lacrosse with head coach Aaron Jaffe. As coach, you finished your first season at ESU. Just wanted to ask first how the season went overall. You won 2 of your last 3 games, so it was nice to finish on a high note for the Warriors this year.
Yeah, I mean, the way I looked at it, it was a little rocky start to the story of our 2013 season with a really great ending and a fantastic final chapter. We were so close so many times in the beginning, 1-goal games, a two-goal loss to then nationally ranked Mercyhurst, where I really thought we could have pulled it out. And it was just great to get those close wins at the end, especially against a very good Shippensburg team.
Yeah, you finished with a 9-8 win at Edinboro. Played Bloomsburg pretty tough here in the second half, and then Shippensburg 13-12 to finish. Especially the stretch at the end of the year from Sarah Ginn, who ended up leading you in goals, and was the team's leading scorer the year before as well. Just talk about her progress as a goal scorer, and along with Laura Nunes, really your top 2 offensive players.
Yeah, well, the really nice thing to see about Sarah was, she had that knack for finding the back of the net from, the moment I stepped here. I had nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. But there were a couple things just in terms of shot placement and finishing that I think I helped her with a little bit. And it was really nice, especially in that Bloomsburg game that you mentioned, to see her put it all together against a very, very good PSAC team. She was 6 goals on 8 shots. Mm-hmm. And I think that scoring-wise, it's about as good a performance as you'd see from anybody in the conference. So, she came up big for us at the end of the year, got us some really key goals, and Lauren Nunes, obviously, freshman, doesn't have the experience of a Sarah Ginn, and she just steadily came along all season, and just was continually improving, learning a little bit, and then learning a little bit more and a little bit more. And I just think by the time she's a senior like Sarah Ginn was this year, she'll be a truly fantastic player for us.
Those two, Sarah Ginn and Laura Nunes, shared your coach's award at yesterday's athletic awards banquet. Amanda Sims, the team MVP, is the goalkeeper. Talk about how she went through this 2013 season, her senior season, and really kept you in some games. Yeah, well, and the really tough thing, that I think Amanda Sims was up against is, we had a relatively inexperienced defense. We're starting freshmen and sophomores, and we're also facing some really, really excellent scoring teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, so she was facing a ton of shots. I think she saw more shots than any goalkeeper in the PSAC, and she played almost every minute of every game, with the exception of one game against Gannon. So. Mm-hmm. To stay composed, to stand tough against all those shots, especially even in games where we're playing like a Westchester or Lockhaven who's putting up a lot of goals, it is really exceptional in of itself. And then on top of that, she was just giving us very good performances game in and game out. And I mean, I think the team vote reflected that she was the one player we could really not do without. And I mean, I think the real highlight of her season was a 20 save game against a very, very good IUP team that was in the PSAC semifinal and lost to Westchester by a goal. Mm-hmm. And then it was and just to kind of cap it off, she had some just absolute key saves right down to the wire in that Bloomsburg game, and I think that basically the game-winning save that preserved that lead for us. So I mean, she was one that finished really strong, and like I said, we just could not have done without. In the midfield, you had several veterans. Nicole Miller was a junior, Brandy Smith a senior, Caitlin Wiltrout I thought played really well in stretches as a freshman. Talk about how that group develops. Obviously, in this conference especially, you really have to be able to play 2 ways in the midfield.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think one of the great things I can say about Nicole Miller is early in the season we were really searching for that player that would kind of get it done for us in a tight game at the end. And no one really emerged early in the season, which you can kind of say you could see as reflected by those close losses. Mm-hmm. At the end of the season, though, that was Nicole Miller for us. I mean, she had the game winner against Edinboro, really clutch goal. She had the game winner against Shippensburg, and I think that was really the difference between those close losses at the beginning and the close wins at the end. Was Nicole stepped up and and put it in the back of the net for us. Katie Wiltrout, I think, similar to Lauren Nunes, still has a ways to go. I know at times it was a little bit of a shock with the jump of the level of play. Mm-hmm. from where she came from in high school to what she saw against the best teams in PSAC. But the nice thing about Katie, I mean, she's a player. It doesn't matter who if she's playing Westchester or anybody else. She's going to go hard. She's going to go at them, and I think she'll only get better with time. She kind of progresses and picks up a little bit more on the lacrosse side of things. And you can teach players the skills, but you cannot teach the attitude that she brings to every game. And then it was great having Brandy Smith, just a player who run hard for us, work hard game in and game out. And the thing, and it's funny, the thing that still stands out in my mind about Brandy was we were on a conditioning test called the beep test. It's very, very popular in European soccer, and she's had a beep test score that I think was better, but all of one of the 2007 England Women's World Cup team,
Really?
which I think really just speaks to her athletic ability and also just some of her mental toughness, because that really is a mental test. It doesn't matter how fast you are, you're going to get to a point where you want to quit, and in that test she just didn't quit, and she that translated to field. She just played hard for us all year long.
You had about a 6-week season as you go back to the middle of the season. The game against Mercyhurst that you mentioned, they were ranked 13th in the country. Some kind of difficult circumstances to play through in that game with the weather, and it was tied 9-9 with 9 minutes left. And you take the field late. You're up against daylight and those kind of things too. And it ends up 14-12 Mercyhurst, but that had to be a game that you're very proud of what your team was able to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That was the closest an ESU team has ever played Mercyhurst, I think, in the history of our program. And that and the Shippensburg game, I think, are the two games that we came closest to putting together 60 minutes of good lacrosse. And we had I think a solid game plan for Mercyhurst. We went in, we executed, and just needed like one little lucky bounce at the end that we didn't quite get. But I mean, we were right on the doorstep of beating an excellent team.
What do you look forward to for 2014? Obviously, you have a group of freshmen and sophomores, who were through this season with you. A couple juniors as well who are going to be rising seniors. But where does Warriors lacrosse go? Through this off season, what are you looking forward to when you get back in the fall?
I'm looking forward to kind of taking the next step. I mean, the way I explained it to some of our younger kids is, if this lacrosse team was a college major, this year was like 101 for us, and it'll be nice to step out into some a little bit more advanced skills, some more advanced concepts, because I think a lot of the girls are ready to handle that now. So we're going to be able to, I think, do a lot more, and that's going to translate to a lot of those close games that were losses becoming wins. And then I'm really looking forward to and hoping for one of those nice upsets, against maybe a Mercyhurst. I don't want to put it out there too much, but somebody that our program hasn't beaten before. That's what I hope for in 2014, and if we do that, that'll be another step in the right direction.
Okay, Warriors lacrosse finishing up 2013 and looking forward to another year. Thanks, Coach.